Nebraska, a great defensive team. We'll see what wins out tonight.
Hawkeyes 10-4 overall, 1-2 in the Big Ten. They get the ball first. Nebraska 12-2. They've won 2 out of 3 in the conference. Early whistle.
The clock didn't start. And it's going to be your response. You can't let a game like that beat you twice, and that's certainly going to be Iowa's challenge tonight.
Brock Harding with the ball, top 5 Big Ten, assists and steals. Looking to dish. Finds Dix, 8 consecutive games, double figures, and that is wide open for the top scorer, Owen Freeman.
Boy, Bryce Williams worried about Brock Harding, who's shooting 40% from 3 out there on the perimeter. He's got to be in on the tag, but Josh Dix is having just a phenomenal season right there in pick and roll, setting the table beautifully.
And they get their early foul called against Braxton Mia.
Or Nebraska, team that loves to load up. They'll post trap you. So if you want to post, you want to play pick and roll, has to be in the middle.
And to stay right here, Jawan Gary misfired with his first shot. New 20 for the Huskers.
We'll see how Iowa rebounds on the defensive end tonight. Nebraska, not a team that has gotten on the offensive glass much this season, but with Iowa's struggles and certainly Nebraska's size, that's going to be a big question mark.
Boy, swish for Bryce Williams, and he can do it all from the three-point line all the way into the dish. Gets his first tray of the night. He averages just under 19.
How about the fact that he's hovering around that 50, 40, 90 club? And that is rare air. He's just having an unbelievable season.
Speaking of shooting threes, well, Josh Dix has been on a heater.
You look at his numbers. Josh Dix shooting 54% from the field. When I see somebody shooting that type of percentage, I'm thinking they need to shoot more. Dix has been so efficient.
Made 5 out of 7 threes on this court against Nebraska last January in an 18-point Iowa win. Williams, and there's an example, just has the entire game from out to in.
But it looks like he's playing in slow motion. He's playing at his tempo. His demeanor reminds me of a college teammate of mine, Etuan Moore, a guy that never got sped up, has good size. Bryce Williams, 3-level scorer.
Harding, a pass first, point guard. Take the shot if it's there. And there's one of those looks inside and tried to find Dembele, first turnover. Well, Mick Cronin paid him a heck of a compliment, the head coach for UCLA this week, and he said, hey, how many guys play over 30 minutes a game, make over half their shots, and over 40% from 3? And he said, I can't think of one.
And it's so true. You look at the numbers he's putting up on the volume that he's shooting. He's having an All-American type season.
In and out, his first miss tonight, the foul against Mia. Also the most assists in the Big Ten.
Well, and also you look at the Wisconsin game, they shot 48% from the field themselves. They scored 85 points. It wasn't the fact they weren't scoring, they just couldn't stop Wisconsin.
Hey, if he can knock it down from 3, what an added dimension for Fran McCaffrey.
Absolutely, and he's doing it, has done it all year. 41% from 3 on the season. The skip pass is going to be big tonight for Iowa because Nebraska loves to load up. You skip that thing, you're going to have opportunities.
Wooster into the paint, forces one, and Dembele with the glass. Josh Dix. Sandfort back up top to Dembele, tried to get it back to Dix. Sandfort made only 1 shot in Madison on Friday. Rare type of outing for the career 1,000-point score. Freeman, second bucket tonight.
There's a reason that Owen Freeman is leading the country in points in the paint, whether it's dribble drives or post-ups. A nice job of staying with that. Nebraska's help's going to be aggressive with that initial contest, but Freeman staying with the play and getting it to go.
Gary. And the rebound. And to the glass. Berke Buyukdengel.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Nebraska head coach Fred Hoiberg. I hear him all the time this season saying defense is our calling card. We talked to him today, said we always guard no matter what's happening on offense. Here's what's happening on offense right now. They've made 8 consecutive shots and scored the last 14 points.
Well, and this 14-0 run has been a little bit of everybody. Sejan, Williams, Wooster, Andrew Morgan. It's been a collective team effort. They're getting stops, they're getting out into the open floor, and Nebraska's offense really flowing right now.
Dix has been the one to make it go in Iowa's offense with 16 points. He's made 4 threes. Sandfort 7 to shoot. Still can't find the bottom of the bucket. And Gary with another board. Sejan has 1-3. Missed that one, and Morgan tips it back out for a new 20.
A good effort by Andrew Morgan, and defensive rebounding, something that Iowa has struggled with all year long.
Been out rebounded tonight. Dix grabs that one, brings it all the way himself. Owen Freeman, leading scorer, scored a couple early. Robbie has been quiet since.
They got to find a way to get him the ball in the middle of the floor. You post him on the blocks, the help's going to come. Look at Sam Hoiberg on that rotation.
His second steal tonight. Gary, pull up. And Freeman with a board. Wooster got a hand in there, and here comes Sandfort.
I'd like to see a middle post up for Owen Freeman. Maybe middle pick and roll where you can short roll him, but they've got to get him involved in this offense. And there you see it. Josh Dix has got to take that back off the screen and look for Freeman.
Turnover, Gary, Wooster. No shot. Wooster short there, and now Nebraska has made less than half their free throws tonight after making 25 out of 29 on Saturday. Freeman, they'd like to get him the ball inside. Traore with a good spin move. See if that can get Iowa going.
And even with Sam Hoiberg coming over as that weak side help defender there, Traore, nice body control, kept his eye to the rim and finished over the top.
Iowa has led by as many as 7 on a couple of different occasions here tonight. Nebraska using a 14-0 run here recently. Right now up by 6, and a steal from Dix. To Pryce Sandfort, back to Dix.
Oh, what a block.
The Utenjo swatted that one, and here comes Hoiberg. Out of bounds.
Missed opportunity for Nebraska there. Jacobson with his heels on the sideline.
Sandfort, his second three, brings Iowa to within 3.
A smart play by Nebraska to let that clock run down and make sure that they get the last shot of the half.
And Fred Hoiberg wants to talk about it. Williams with 12 points. He's made 5 out of 6 shots already.
We'll see if Iowa matches up. Looks like a 3-2 right now, but they could certainly go man-to-man.
Shot clock off, 10 seconds left in the half. Trying to open up his Sejan, back to Utenjo. The tip. Iowa's defense comes through in the end. And Cooper Koch is also out because of injury. A number of health issues for Cooper Koch. He will not play in the second half. Nebraska begins with a 3-point lead. They battled from behind the majority of that first half and came alive late. Hit 8 consecutive shots at one point.
Iowa going a little zone here, trying to mix and match. Nebraska's offense in a real rhythm in the first half.
The nice first step by Gary, and that'll get him to the 2 buckets. And those came pretty early in the game. Gary misses the first. I love his willingness to really play any kind of role.
Well, I thought the end of the UCLA game kind of sums him up. Blocks a shot, gets to the foul line, steals a pass, gets back to the foul line. The game was in hand, but Juwan Gary's a tone setter for this group and a guy that he's always going to leave it on the floor.
So I mentioned Freeman, only 2 buckets. You have Payton Sandfort, he had 1 against Wisconsin, is scoreless tonight with the ball there. Back to Dix.
A good job by Utenjo, staying tight there with Payton Sandfort, not giving him any daylight off that screen.
Good defense there, double team on Freeman.
They've got to get him the ball in the middle of the floor. You post him on the block, that double is coming over and it's aggressive. You get it to him in pick and roll middle of the floor. You can post him in the middle of the floor, but they got to change kind of their angle of getting Owen Freeman the basketball.
So the ball stays here with Nebraska, 15 seconds to shoot. There's Bryce Williams. Looks like he hasn't broken a sweat yet. 1-on-1, kicks it out to Utenjo. A good feed to Mia. Williams, man, is he wide open. Well short the air ball.
For a guy that's shooting what he is from.
Let's see if they can get Sandfort going here. 1,000-point scorer career with the ball now. In a game and a half funk, that's a great look to Dix. Stays high. He's got 5 threes. Hawkeyes.
That skip pass again. Nebraska getting their wires crossed, switching off the basketball, and can't leave Josh Dix alone.
Had 5 against Nebraska last January in a Hawkeye win, and has 5 already tonight. Good backdoor cut. Wooster. Oh, pretty tough.
That was well done right there. Brock Harding trying to overplay. Wooster taking it to the basket. He's been so effective around that rim. Posting, now off the ball cutting.
Utah State to Utah to Nebraska, 5th year of playing college basketball. There's another skip pass, this time to Harding. Dix. Freeman, not normally his game. Long rebound to Mia.
Owen Freeman, 4 of 10 from 3 coming into this game, but you have to think Nebraska going to be content for him to shoot out there.
Wooster, back-to-back buckets.
And Mia with that post up just clearing the way.
Nebraska pushing that lead to 5.
Good job by Buchengel just fronting that post.
Well, they're listening to us, Robbie. They're trying to get it to him. Now Buchengel himself.
Whoa!
And one. The scoop up and under. Have to win at the line each game. It's part of what we do. They've only made 4 out of 10.
But look at Jawan Gary. Get to the body of the guy that's blocking him out, not Jawan Gary.
UCLA from the West Coast tonight at Hoops.
Well, it kind of hit me watching that Nebraska-UCLA game, where you're like, man, this is cool that this program is playing in a Big Ten conference game.
Nebraska, 8-0 run. They've made their last 3 shots. And they're getting the line here early in the second half. Largest lead they've enjoyed at 9.
Sandfort traveled, got away with it.
Hoiberg rebound.
Payton Sandfort, though, they need to find him a good look. He just looks a little bit out of sorts, out of rhythm.
And there's a pick by Josh Dix. Does not have numbers. First time Bronze has been in, and now they'll get Sandfort to the line. Thelwell out with injury. Koch out with injury. And Sandfort is on the board. Hawks down 8, but in a way, if you're an Iowa fan, Robbie, you have Owen Freeman, their top scorer, has made 2 buckets. Sandfort does not have a field goal. And he makes this one, and he does. They're down, but to only be down 7.
Yeah, with the way that some of these guys have played, you mentioned Freeman and Sandfort. Outside of Josh Dix, there just hasn't been great offense for Iowa.
But Gary left open.
He's driving that matchup.
Yeah. Nice lefty.
And you got Evan Brahms closing out to you. Jawan Gary wisely taking that to the rim.
Harding also gets in, but Gary with the defense.
What a sequence for Jawan Gary on both ends of the floor.
He's had an offensive rebound here recently, a drive for 2, and nice piece of defense there.
Bryce Williams going to take advantage of this size mismatch here.
Oh, good look to Mia. Ball tipped away by Gary. And Nebraska found a way to beat UCLA, making only 1/3 of their shots, and they're making almost 60% here tonight.
Well, Iowa's got to find a way to get Freeman and Sandfort involved. They're not going to win this game if those 2 guys don't score.
Dix has been scoring. Harding not close with his 3. Rebound Hoiberg flips it up to Gary. Almost too much, and he gets the save. And back to Harding. He's got Freeman. And he'll shoot 2.
If you're not looking for it, you're not able to take advantage of the fact that Nebraska is constantly putting 2 on the ball. Well, you don't see a free throw like that very often. That thing hung on the rim forever.
You don't see these kind of numbers on the bottom line here at this point of the game, Robbie. They've shot 3 free throws total.
That is certainly an interesting box score here. Then you look at what Freeman's done. He's got 4 points. Payton Sandfort has 2 points. Hasn't made a field goal yet. Sandfort struggled up at Wisconsin, but they've got to have him be a factor on the offensive end of the floor.
Iowa's largest deficit in a home game this year. Moments ago it was 11, now down to 10 points. In a game they led for the majority of the first half. Williams double team, back to Mia.
There's that short roll. And that's exactly what Iowa needs to do, but they're off that high ball screen, just getting it to Mia and letting him facilitate. Good offense.
Largest Husker lead at 13. Off the head of Sandfort. Well, this counts for numbers. Williams makes it a 15-point lead. See if they can find a way, Robbie, to get the ball inside to Owen Freeman. Stuck on those 2 buckets. Harding finds the lane. Freeman also to the lane. And Williams with the glass.
Nebraska a little fortunate there. Mia's got to close out to Freeman, understanding that if he shoots a 3, it's a win for Nebraska. That dribble drive, they're certainly fortunate he missed it at the rim.
Trying to get it inside themselves to Mia. Williams deep 3. And that's too much. Sandfort with the rebound. Harding. Sandfort for 3. Boy, did he need that.
Yes, he did. That was a great look across the floor. Bryce Sandfort understanding where his brother is. And Payton Sandfort, if I was going to come back, he's got to be a factor offensively in this game.
His first bucket tonight. Meanwhile, Nebraska happy to show all kinds of patience. Shot clock down to 10. Wooster. Gary with a wide open 3. And Dix with the rebound.
But a good look there. Wooster under control. Knows he's got that mismatch. Iowa's got to bring help.
Another 3. In and out. Freeman puts it back.
One of the rare possessions tonight when Nebraska just not on the same page. Off that skip pass, nobody's home, and the no blockout responsibilities at the rim.
Crowd trying to come alive here. 5 consecutive points for their Hawkeyes. Mia, Gary for 2.
Just a winning cut right there. Juwan Gary kind of circle cutting that in.
Back to Freeman. And he's got 2 buckets in a row.
Main basket, missed shot, doesn't matter. You're playing Iowa, you got to get back. Owen Freeman, as good as any big in this league at running the floor.
Williams, guarded by Iowa's top scorer, Dix.
Keep him away from his right hand. It's where he wants to go.
Gary again. And Dix another rebound. Sandfort spinning. And boy, air ball from inside.
Lost it going up.
From point-blank range.
But Iowa's found something here, getting some pace in this game. Nebraska's not getting back, and the Hawkeyes looking for some opportunities in the open floor.
Those 5 points have come in the second half.
Yeah.
And Freeman also has 5 points in this second half.
And I think glass half full for Iowa as well. For as poorly as they have played for much of this game, they're only down 10. Well, make it 13.
Sejan, best 3-point shooter for the Nebraska, puts them back up by 13. Harding, Sandfort. This is Bryce Sandfort. Hoiberg battling. And he's tied up.
Drilling it. Good cut.
Well, that's a good look inside, and that's how to get his confidence going. 7 points now in the second half.
Good play by Iowa there, but a breakdown by the Cornhuskers. You got to protect the rim. Nobody home there. Bryce Williams gets screened off, and an easy basket for Payton Sandfort.
Williams got half a step there, and the tip. Well, that's goaltending. Morgan thought he had the tip in. Goaltending. Take another look here.
That helps coming over on the dribble drive. Morgan's all by himself, and
yeah. Iowa can get this deficit up into single digits. Moments ago, they were down by 15. Dix, their best scorer, has another 3.
That skip pass has been there all game long. Iowa's helping on that back screen, and that means Josh Dix is open in that far corner.
He's made 6 trays tonight, has 22 points. Good first step, gets the 2.
What a burst there from Morgan, just facing up and blowing right by Owen Freeman.
Sandfort with a quick 3. Gets the The home team bounce, they call that. Lead is 7. Hoiberg. goes down, traveling. Iowa now with a chance to cut the lead to 5 or 4.
All of a sudden, Iowa's 5 of their last 7 from the field. That skip pass across the court. Josh Dix has been terrific tonight. And then Payton Sandfort flowing into that trail spot. He must be living right. Hasn't been his night so far, but the tide seemed to be changing for the Hawkeyes.
See if they can open up Dix. He's made 6 out of 8 threes. Ball knocked back by Morgan.
Iowa's trying to run that same play. Good active hands by Morgan.
Freeman. Dix opens up. In and out. Rebound Williams. Ulis, former Hawkeye to Gary. Asijan, deep 3. Gary tracks down.
Gary.
Oh, he's out of bounds though.
I think Fred Hoiberg voicing his opinion that Gary didn't just step out on his own volition. Payton Sandfort right there with him. Certainly a slight bump there to take Juwan Gary out of bounds.
Iowa 10-4, trying to come back against 12-2 Nebraska. Sandfort open. Freeman rebound. And it'll come back to Nebraska. Ulis with the ball, spent 3 seasons as a Hawkeye. To Morgan. One-on-one against Freeman. Morgan spinning.
Good shot fake. And
He'll
Freeman up in the air. It's a really mature move from a guy that scored at a pretty high level last year at North Dakota State. It's just one-on-one. Counter to the baseline here. You get Freeman up. Smart play by Andrew Morgan.
You not only get the 2 free throws here, Robbie, you get the 3rd foul against Freeman.
Freeman, a guy that's battled foul trouble throughout his career. Has been better this season, but still a third of his games coming tonight. He's had 4 fouls, so it's been an issue here, even if it's gotten better from last season.
Not scoring a lot. 9 points he has tonight. Much better in the second half, and also has a game-high 7 rebounds. And he's staying in the game. Iowa down 7. Nebraska's made only half of their free throws tonight, 7 out of 14. Harding doesn't have a bucket since early in the first half. Quick look to Freeman, and he's quickly double teamed.
Good rotations there by Nebraska.
Sandfort.
Okay. He's one of those guys. All it takes is one to go down for Payton Sandfort to feel like he's on fire. The shot looks different. The confidence meter has gone from almost nothing to through the roof.
From down 15 to down only 5. Gary, crossover, spin. And his own rebound, strong back up. And Freeman finally comes up with it. Harding with a one-on-one. Sandfort again.
Good job by Nebraska getting back. Iowa had numbers. Harding was trying to force the issue. You get some rotations and you live to fight another day with an Iowa missed 3.
Bryce Williams had the ball knocked away. Gary, 10 to shoot. It's up and under. Silky smooth.
But that never happens if he doesn't punch that loose ball out to Juwan Gary. Multiple efforts by Bryce Williams to make it happen.
Sandfort. He's got 11 of Iowa's last 14 points, and the Hawks only trail by 4. Williams forced that one. No call. Sandfort. Boy, quick 3. Bryce Sandfort rebound. Dix. Sandfort. 3-ball. Hawkeyes trailed by as many as 15 points here in the second half, but right now they're on a 17-5 run. 11 points in that time coming from Payton Sandfort. Trying to get it into Morgan, guarded by Freeman. He's got 3 fouls. Right back to him, 7 to shoot. Fade away. Gary with his 8th rebound, and now 9th.
He's just got to score the ball there. He was looking to get fouled and not looking to score it.
Iowa has not led since the first half. Any kind of bucket changes that right here. Too high for Dix. 10 turnovers now against Iowa. You talked about the crowd bringing some energy here for Iowa. It has really helped them on this defensive end.
Absolutely, but Iowa's been able to give them something to cheer about. They've been so much better with their own energy over the last 10 minutes.
Gary quickly to the lane.
That's a couple for Juwan Gary where he's had it right at the basket, not converted.
Dix to Harding. Iowa again with a chance to take the lead as we hit the 5.5-minute mark. Harding lost control. And Dix came up with a possession arrow. Will send it back to Nebraska.
Juwan Gary, I'm sure he wants this one back. Straight line drive. He just takes Payton Sandfort, gets right by him, gets a good angle, and the thing just doesn't go down.
He's having one of those nights, Robbie. He's made only 3 out of 15 shots.
And for Nebraska, a lid on the rim all of a sudden. One of their last 9 from the field.
Lead is shrunk from 15 to 1. Williams, late whistle, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, Josh Dix can't get turned down like that. You got to make Bryce Williams use the ball screen. All your help is to your big, and once once he slips out, there's no screen there really. Good dribble drive by Williams, earns a trip to the foul line.
Payton Sandfort, who's been so hot here as we've outlined in the second half, picks up his 3rd foul. Williams has had a pretty quiet second half. He's now got 17 points. He came in averaging 19.
Remember what he did in the UCLA game. When the jumper wasn't going, this is where he got to. With his size and his ability to get kind of wherever he wants on the floor. Certainly for Nebraska, Bryce Williams grind it out, get to the foul line.
90% free throw shooter, knocks them both down, pushes the lead back to 3. Sandfort again, and he'll shoot 3.
Well, I thought Payton Sandfort really kicked his leg out there. And we'll see on the replay if there was contact early off the hip, but I thought this was kind of the Reggie Miller special, and it looked like that right foot was kicking forward. The camera follows the ball. Oh, I take that back. You look at his right hand. He does get Sandfort on the hip, so there was some contact there. Even though Sandfort did kick that leg out.
So that's 3 fouls against Bryce Williams, their top scorer. And he remains in the game. Sandfort makes the first, has a couple more. When you're a veteran scorer, you're going to hit bumps like this. He made 1 basket on Friday. Didn't make a single bucket in the first half, but he has just been terrific here in the second.
Well, especially as a shooter, you know, when your main deal is shooting the 3-point shot, you're going to ebb and flow and go through some stretches that are going to be tough, especially mentally to deal with. And I think the guys that have the mindset of, you know, next one's going in and all it takes is one and I'm back to hot, that's a skill in itself.
He's got 19 in the second half, and we've got a tie game. Fourth tie of the game. Williams, Payton.
Good switch there by Iowa, keeping Harding out on the perimeter.
Shot clock to 7. Wooster. Gary had it knocked away. It'll stay here, and 5 seconds showing on the shot clock. Gary stays down.
Gary ran into a brick wall of Laji Dembele here. Trying to overload that zone. That's got to be a block. He just totally wipes them out here. And Gary's driving the baseline, and he's still moving to that right side for Dembele. I think that should have been a foul.
The old driving Robbie Hummel coming to life. Payton Sandfort.
Had more time.
Boy, Gary with a rebound in that time.
And the early shot worked out. Allowed Juwan Gary, who's lived on the offensive glass tonight, to make a play on it, and this time he converts.
Gary now with 10 rebounds and a steal from Payton Sandfort. Gary thought about pushing. Wooster. Williams passed up a 3. Hoiberg to the basket.
Unselfish play there. Multiple Nebraska players passing up a jumper, and Sam Hoiberg finishing the deal on that baseline dribble drive.
Sandfort. That puts him over 20 points. Back to a 2-point game. Williams, shot clock down to 9. Payton Sandfort, 2 to shoot. Gary barely got it off. Payton Sandfort rebound, ripped down, shot ball, possession to Iowa. Meanwhile, Iowa trailing by as many as 15 in this second half. Can tie it or go up by 1 with a long ball.
Nebraska's got to know where Sandfort is. He's active at relocating. Can't lose track of him like that.
Like that. Oh, 24 points, all in the second half. Wooster spinning. Gary with the putback. And the tip in finally from Morgan.
And we've seen it from Iowa all season long. Just not the ability to close down possessions. Nebraska looks like they're playing volleyball up there, just tapping it back and forth. And finally, Andrew Morgan gets that thing to go.
Back and forth we go. Huskers now with a lead by 1. Dix, Freeman open. Iowa leads again.
Ronnie Wooster has got to give some sort of task. He's worried about Harding being a 40+% guy from 3, but you can't just let Owen Freeman roll uncontested to the rim.
2 minutes left. Nebraska looking for a 7th consecutive win. Down 1.
Roosters like this matchup. He's been able to get inside and take advantage of the size mismatch with Harding.
5 to shoot. Dix with a steal. Iowa with the lead, willing to be patient now. Dix with 22 points. Skip pass. Bryce Sandfort. 5 to shoot. Payton Sandfort. 3 more! Almost taken away. It'll stay here with Nebraska. 22 seconds to shoot. Iowa with their largest lead. Up by 4. Williams. Oh, tough 3. Tough. 1 minute left.
The clock is running. That should stop in a minute.
Picks it back up. Iowa's made their last 5 shots. 23-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Payton Sandfort has 27 points in this second half. Dix is also over 20 for the game. 5 to shoot. Harding. And the rebound, Wooster. Nebraska down 1 with the ball. Shot clock is off. Williams is their leading scorer. Had it swiped away. Payton Sandfort stole the ball. Fred Hoiberg wants a double dribble. And they got to start fouling. Yeah, there's one. And they get the foul against Hoiberg. That's 5 against Hoiberg. He'll check out. Bayuk will come in. 7 seconds left. And the next one sends Iowa to the free throw line.
I've been the inbounds passer with no timeouts. It's a lonely feeling as that count starts getting towards 3 in your head. You're thinking, please, somebody get open. A lot of pressure on Carter Kingsbury here.
Looking. Oh boy. Finds Harding. And he's fouled by Wooster. 5 seconds left. 2-point lead. Iowa by 3. Now we see what they do here.
Good foul. That was well executed. Sandfort just definitely taking that blocking foul, moving his feet.
So that was for the 6th.
That was to give. So we'll see if they take another one.
The next one puts him on the line. Williams, big step for 3. Tie game! Wow! Tie game! A big step and then a big shot to give us overtime. Bonus basketball underway, all locked up at 76. 12-2 Nebraska, 10-4 Iowa.
Braxton Meehan just doesn't know the play right here.
Knocked away by Harding, 12 to shoot.
They're going right at Sandfort.
Gary another miss. Williams hands on it. Sandfort to Harding. Dix. He's also over 20 points. Price Sandfort. Little pull up. Iowa up 2.
Off the missed layup. Iowa getting out in transition again, and they've been in rotation, this Nebraska defense.
Wow. Late foul called against Freeman. As a team, Nebraska just 9 for 17. They've made only half their free throws, and Iowa's lead remains 2.
And Nebraska's been one of the best foul shooting teams by percentage in the league all year long.
After defense, Fred Hoiberg says that's our next best thing, winning at the line. Skip pass, 3. Dix nailed it!
Nebraska has gotten burned on that play multiple times tonight. They're worried about the back screen. They're switching it out. Iowa wisely just skipping it to the corner, and they've taken advantage for open looks.
Dix has 7 3-pointers, and Iowa leads by 5. Gary, swatted by Freeman.
Juwan Gary has had a tough night at the basket here tonight.
He's made 4 out of 20 shots.
We don't want a foul here.
Harding trying to draw that foul. Basijan almost knocked it away. 9 to shoot. Dix driving. Score! Williams. Defense from Sandfort.
Iowa 7-0 so far in OT.
Sandfort earns a second.
And it's not like Payton Sandfort was really showing signs of life there. It finally got a jump shot to go, and it's just been game on from that point.
Only one team has scored here in overtime, and that's Iowa leading by 9. Williams open. Gary makes his 5th shot, cuts into that lead.
Juwan Gary, though, for his shortcomings around the basket, he has been a monster on the offensive glass.
Freeman fouled by the Houston Gem. Freeman makes the first. Iowa has been much better at the line tonight. They've made 11 out of 12. Lead back to 9. 2.5 left in overtime. Asijan, Williams, good looking 2. Iowa willing to play keep away here. Sandfort in the corner.
Iowa smart just to reset this and take some clock. You don't want to foul there.
Career high 27 points. Make it 28. 6 points in overtime.
Josh Dix is somebody that should be being talked about more with the way he's played. This is 9 straight games in double figures for him. He's having a ridiculous season in terms of efficiency.
Shooting 70% here tonight from threes. Speaking of efficiency, lead back to 9. Brewster. Little one-on-one. Difficult shot off the glass.
He is good at getting to that right hand.
Iowa scored the first 9 points of this overtime to take control. Dix wisely hangs on. We hit the 1:30 mark left in overtime. Iowa by 7. Oh, poked away by Williams. The hustle from Sandfort gives it back to Harding. Timeout, Iowa. Bryce Sandfort inbounds. Gary made the play. Williams with it. Down 7. Rooster. And he'll go to the line. Now called against Bryce Sandfort. That's his first.
Nebraska in full denial, making that pass be thrown over the top, and Juwan Gary, much like a free safety, eyes on the ball, gets a piece of it. Bryce Williams quickly hitting a cutting Rooster. That's exactly what Nebraska needs.
Worcester had made 1 out of 5 free throws before making that one. Nebraska is trailed by as many as 9 here in overtime. Now down 6. Williams kept it alive. Asijan back to Williams. That's going to be short. And Dix with a rebound.
The foul line has let Nebraska down tonight.
Big time.
10 of 20 for a team that shoots 78% on the season versus Iowa, who's only missed 1. They're 15 of 16.
That's really why Nebraska won against UCLA. They made 25 out of 29. Dix makes them both. He's got 31 points. Iowa's lead back to 8. Williams, nifty ball handling, and the block from Freeman.
For a long time, it was Josh Dix that was keeping the Iowa offense afloat.
Sandfort has 30 to go with Dix 31. 1 minute left. Iowa by 9. Rooster, the driving hook. Well, he's got that thing down.
Tough shot, but man, you let him go right. He's going to be efficient.
Harding back to Sandfort. They're fighting him for it. Wrap him up.
Yeah.
Now the possession points to Iowa. Freeman. And he's fouled by Gary.
Well, that's who you want at the line. Well, Freeman, 57% from the free throw line. Good job by Nebraska. That does not look like a 57% stroke, right?
He has 15 points and 8 rebounds. And Iowa has a 9-point lead. Cornhuskers now have to hustle. Wooster 3. Long. Rebound to Harding. He goes down. And the foul called as he went down.
That allowed Sandfort to get some open looks in transition. And it's just been on from there.
30 seconds left. 11-point lead. They'll give Williams that. Swatted by Freeman. Oh! They call a foul.
They're going to say with the body. Man, he volleyball spiked this into the stands.
And that's the 5th foul against Owen Freeman.
What looks like it's going to be an uncontested layup, and here comes Freeman.
Lead to 10. He's got 28. Deep to Harding. And he missed. Got it right back. And he'll go to the line. Moments away from the second game here coming up on Peacock tonight. Big Ten contest out west. A couple of ranked teams in the top 25. Harding misses the first. Michigan at UCLA. You can also see that on Peacock. Michigan so much better than they were a year ago, and UCLA trying to bounce back from the weekend loss in Lincoln. Final 20 seconds here. Williams with 28. He'll stay there. Harding pulls it down, and that's out of the line. 31-point loss on Friday. 10-point overtime win at home on Tuesday night.